Well, every family has a story, and storytelling is important for passing down family history. With Father's Day coming up this Sunday, father, speaker, and author of the book, The Secrets of Happy Families, Bruce Feiler, joins us with ways to tell those stories through genealogy. Good morning to you, Bruce.
Nice to be with you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Everybody's looking for the perfect gift for Father's Day. I know you love passing down stories, talking about genealogy. What do you think is the most meaningful gift for fathers this year?
Look, when you ask dads what they want for Father's Day, they say spend more time with their family. What they really mean, but they don't say, is they want to be the center of attention. Okay? Like, that's why we have dad jokes. By the way, have you heard the rumor about butter?
No.
Never mind, I won't spread it. Okay, so.
Good one.
So they like to tell stories, and what we have now is powerful tools on the internet that can make those stories richer and more meaningful. I've done this partnership with Ancestry.com, as you know, because Ancestry has two ways of doing this. Number one, they have this family tree builder. 100 million family trees have been built around the world. And Ancestry has gathered 20 billion records in 80 countries. That's the largest repository on earth. And suddenly those stories that maybe are kind of vague and you're not sure how much truth is in them, you add birth records and death records and marriage certificates, and suddenly these stories come alive, become tangible, and suddenly everybody, grandparents, parents, grandchildren, get together, and suddenly these stories are right back in the middle of the family, on the kitchen table where they belong.
It's true. I got to tell you, I have my kit at home from Ancestry. I still have yet to do it. My family is just starting to do ours. And I went home for Memorial Day, and families have found out they have family members they didn't know about as well. There's a lot of stories that aren't passed down that we find as well. And I think it's really fascinating to see how we all are connected, and I love it. And I know you're an expert in this area. You're a father yourself.
Yeah.
How do you think as a family we can add more happiness? We can add that into our lives?
Look, I think what you just said is exactly a point that's worth emphasizing. It's not all happy. It's sad and confusing, and sometimes stories that you don't want to share that you need to share, right? So you mentioned earlier I wrote this book, The Secrets of Happy Families. High-functioning families have three things in common, okay? They adapt all the time because times are changing. They go out and play, which sounds easy but is hard. But the thing I think that is most critical is that they talk a lot about values, about what it means to be part of a family, about family history. There is remarkable research out of Emory University in Atlanta that the children who know more about their family history, they feel more confident to navigate not just the ups, but also the downs. And we know children have ups and downs. We all have oscillating family narratives. And when you know that, you feel more empowered to navigate, get through your own oscillating times. Stories are powerful tools to show you're not alone. Other people have gotten through this situation, and often situations that were worse.
I love that. I love that you say, too, that families have to adapt, because I think that's so true. I think we as humans and people just need to adapt in our lives. How can we start the process of finding and discovering more about our families?
Well, one of the biggest adaptations we're doing is that we have moms in the workplace much more, but also dads much more involved in parenting. And of course, we're talking about this week because it's Father's Day. So here you can give dad, granddad, these kinds of tools. We mentioned earlier Ancestry has two of these tools. There's the family tree builder, but there's also the DNA kit that you said that your family is already embracing. 15 million people have done this. And when you add your DNA to the pool, you are learning and seeing from all these other people who have done it, the generation to generation, how the family has moved over time, becomes vivid in a 4-color way. Of course, kids like visuals these days because they grow up on devices and Instagram, et cetera, and all those kinds of things. And so you can see the stories may be vague and you're not sure, like, maybe stories you haven't heard because relatives are dead. So you want to gather the stories now, and when you add your DNA and do this process, you're going to bring details that absolutely are going to be new for somebody, maybe even everybody in the room who's going to read them.
It's so true. I've seen it happen several times. I just want to make sure that I'm Irish. I'm just really worried I'm not. So.
Well, Irish is a state of mind, not a state of DNA.
It's so true.
Have we not learned that? Then go to Ancestry, start the process now, and you can still have potatoes. Whatever it finds, you can still celebrate St. Patrick's Day. You can still tell the story, because one thing the family research shows, tell stories to kids, even if they're not true, if it's bundling a lesson that kids need to hear, then you're using stories effectively.
I love it. Pass that story on anyway. Thanks so much for joining us, Bruce. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Absolutely. Ancestry.com is where you can learn more about the DNA kit.